having run in the Betfair Exchange hurdle last time and the listed handicap at Sandown at the start of December. On some of his form last season, he's now on a good mark again, and he was quite strong in the market earlier, but just drifting out a little bit.
Okay, Gearby was successful last time out, and she's got the service of young John Joe O'Neill on board.
Yes, she stepped up to 2.5 miles at Fakenham and for her handicap debut, and that was an improved piece of form, but she's essentially progressive over hurdles, improved from run to run really. Got the Ted Rogers in the form figures,
yeah,
and likely to go well again, I would think.
Rockcliffe was successful in an amateur riders race last time out at Catterick. Up £7 for that?
Yes, up £7 and back in a better race, and got a good ride in an amateur contest on that occasion. Has got Billy Garrity taking £8 off here, but I thought he was perhaps a little way down the pecking order in terms of likely winners.
Corinto I thought was interesting if there was any support from, but it doesn't really appear to be that.
No, again with an £8 claimer on board, had the 3 runs to qualify for handicaps, and although the initial run wasn't very promising, he's stepped forward each time since. I think he's got untapped potential. Although it was a small field at Fakenham last time, he shaped encouragingly, and the winner's run well since.
Manila 5-0 is 11 years young. He's never been the easiest to predict. He wasn't a going day last time out, albeit in selling company here.
Yes, and the handicap has only put him up £3 for that. It was, as you say, a seller, and only really 2 of them gave their running. So I think he's got his work cut out in this better race.
Okay. Amazing 4 of the 7 successful last time out.
Yes, Oregon Gold is the other one who was successful last time out. He's on a hat-trick now, having won over this course and distance, likely to be making the running here, you would think.
Right. Yeah, so the race should be framed around him, Charlie Hammond on board, and we know he likes it here as they continue to circle around. At the prices, what makes most appeal?
Probably Oregon Gold at the prices. Like you, I was expecting support for Corinto, but he doesn't appear to be particularly fancied.
No. Kick and start off a mark of 111, which, yeah, as you say, the first he's beaten 36 lengths in not a bad race at Newbury, but
yeah, he does need to improve again, but he's got that untapped potential.
Just walking around, you just see him there walking against the likes of Rockcliffe. He just looks a different model, doesn't he?
Yes, I mean Rockcliffe is not very big and he's flat-bred, so a son of Fleming's Firth out of a well-related mare. It's not surprising he's got a bit more about him, really.
And back to Rockcliffe, on the positive side, I've been impressed by young Billy Garrity. I think he's good value for a £7 against professionals and £8 obviously being attached to the yard.
Yes, yeah, so it's a good advantage to have an £8 claimer on. 3 of the 7 do have, but the top 3 in the weights have all got conditionals who can't claim anything, so it's quite a big advantage.
Yeah, so 2-2-3 is your 11-4 clear favourite then, as they continue to circle in the infield. Friday Night Light is second and it's 7-2. Kira B, the only mare in the lineup is 5-1. Oregon Gold seizes out to 13-2. Easy to back, likewise Corinto, no real support at 8-1. And Manila 5-0 is your outsider, 14-1, as we tick around very close to post time for already third race of the day at Market Racing. After this, we'll be heading straight back to Ludlow for their 1:45. Looks like they're coming out in Oregon Gold, as we sort of thought. It's going to help them come along, and Friday Night Light and Manila 5-0 should be insured despite only 7 runners. It should be pretty well run.
It should be run at a reasonable gallop, yes. Hopefully.
Yep, we'll find out. In the company of Gareth Topham, who once again stopping by to call them home.
Thank you, Niall. Yeah, the runner's about to make their way out. We'll just keep an eye on 223. He looked a little bit reluctant a few minutes ago just to leave the paddock. Ross Turner had to jump off and the horse was then led out. But once he got out onto the track, he seemed to be alright. He was just being kept away from the other runners down at the post. But as you can see, he's back with them now. So, interesting conditional jockeys handicap hurdle, taking a turn and about to come forward. So the runners are about to line up, starter on the rostrum, flags are raised, and they're off. For the Mansion Bet conditional jockeys handicap hurdle, 223 is dropped in, and it's Oregon Gold who's going to be employed as pace setter here by jockey Charlie Hammond, and flies out over flight number 1 to Friday Night Light, who runs in second, a couple of lengths away to in third Manila 5-0, and then a bit wider out in fourth Kira B, a neck back to Rockcliffe, 1.5 away to Corinto, and 3 lengths away to the back marker over flight number 2, which is 223. Racing on now towards the third, and Oregon Gold showing out in the lead here in the beige and white jacket. Jumps that around about a half length ahead. Oregon Gold seeking his third win on the trot following successes at Southwell and also around here. Friday Night Light, David Pipe's only runner on the card, is lying in second spot with Manila 5-0 to the rails in third. In fourth is Kira B, the only mare in the lineup. She's a further neck ahead of Rockcliffe, and then there's a 3-length break back to Corinto, representing double-seeking trainer Ollie Murphy, and the back marker is at 223 as they race back towards the home straight for the first time. There are 2 flights of hurdles for them to get across along this stretch. So up ahead, Oregon Gold, with on the outside Friday Night Light for company, with Manila 5-0 tracking the leader through against the rails, and then a little deeper out to Rockcliffe in red colours, and on the far right is Kira B. 2.5 lengths back to Corinto, who's just being nudged ever so slightly, and 223 remains at the back of the field, and neither of the last pairing were that fluent. 223 hit the flight pretty hard, and Corinto didn't get a great deal higher, as up front Oregon Gold leads half a length clear over that flight to Friday Night Light, who closes up to within a neck on passing the 1 furlong marker first time round. Back in third is Manila 5-0, in fourth is Kira B, then chases Rockcliffe, a couple of lengths back to Corinto, and a similar margin to 223. Racing on now towards the halfway point of this, the Mansion Bet conditional jockeys handicap hurdle, and they're stretched out by around about 10 lengths or so here. Oregon Gold, with up towards the outside Friday Night Light for immediate company. Back in third is Manila 5-0. Some reminders being administered to the mare Kira B at halfway. She's now just dropping off this first 3 by around about 4 lengths or so, not going quite as fluently as many of the others. Back in behind her is Rockcliffe, and then Corinto, and 223 is yet to get out of last spot. They're all safely over the first flight, going down the back straight, but pretty much a case of 2 races going on for the price of 1 here. We've got a leading group of 3, and they're around about 10 lengths ahead now of everything else. Up front, Oregon Gold to Friday Night Light, who's going to take that practically up sides. Back in third is Manila 5-0. Now 223 is on the move. That one inherits 4th place. Still a good 10 lengths off of the leading trio, though, as they race towards the final flight going down the back. Rockcliffe is next, and then follows a fading Kira B, who made a bad mistake over that flight and was overtaken by Corinto, as shortly they'll be preparing to turn out of the back straight. So it is Oregon Gold now having pressure for the lead applied by Friday Night Light, who's going really strongly, it would appear, up towards the outer under Kieran Edgar. Close up in third is Manila 5-0, who's had a nice toe into this race, and then into 4th place, and a close up 4th now 223, who's pretty much as close as he's ever been. Back in behind that one is Rockcliffe, and then Corinto, as they swing right-handed back towards the home straight. Half a mile left to travel, and they've got 2 more flights of hurdles left to get across, and it's at this point of the race where Kieran Edgar sends Friday Night Light on, and Friday Night Light has opened up by 3-4. Manila 5-0, though, has now gone into second place, with 2-2-3 inheriting third, dropping away now Oregon Gold, whose running appears to be done. Next is Rockcliffe, then Corinto, as Friday Night Light remains ahead, but Manila 5-0 is about to be produced along the inside and produce the better jump of the leading pair at the second last. 5 lengths back to 2-2-3 in third, as Manila 5-0, Sue Smith's only runner of the day here, comes to the last flight in front and gets over by a couple. In second place on touching down is Friday Night Light. 2-2-3 is back in third. A furlong now left to go. It is Manila 5-0 in the hands of Kane Yeoman, in front by 3-4 lengths. In second place, battling away Friday Night Light with 2-2-3 back in third. But Manila 5-0 is going to win again here at Market Raisin and score comfortably in the end under Kane Yeoman. The 11-year-old Manila 5-0 beating Friday Night Light into second. 2-2-3 is third, and Corinto picked up fourth.
Yeah, follows up that stellar success. Manila 5-0 wins for Sue Smith, and Kane Newman, the 11-year-old, the outsider of the party, wins at Market Raisin.